are here with two of my friends. This is the first time there is like a trio on the podcast today. We are so excited to be joined by two wonderful women, Nicole and Kaila, who are passionate coaches who work with women entrepreneurs to accelerate their purpose, potential, and profit. Through their coffee club membership, virtual courses, and transformational coaching, they support you, coaches and entrepreneurs, to take action and get aligned with your true purpose. So you can join their community where they'll help you expand the boundaries of what's possible for your business, your life, and your money, or how I say it, make your dream life your real life. Right?
Absolutely. Hi.
Awesome. Yeah, this is so fun. And, we connected a little bit before this recording. Nicole, I'm excited to learn more about your story. You were a school teacher. Is that right? Before all this aligned purpose came to be?
That is right. Yeah, I was a junior high and high school teacher for the first part of my career. And I went into that work because I love teenagers, and it felt like a great way to work with them. And what I realized after a few years of I was in an isolated community in northern Canada. So I was 8 hours away from an airport in a very small town teaching. And I was like, I love these kids, but this system isn't working for me. And I was really just starting to realize that I wanted to do things my own way, and I wasn't quite sure how. And then over the course of a few years after leaving my teaching job, it all unfolded to be this.
Yeah, which we're going to get into. I can just so relate to everything you just shared. Not quite 8 hours away from an airport, but feeling a little bit isolated in a smaller town. My husband used to teach 7th grade, and every time people ask, he would say, "Oh, I am a teacher. I used to be a teacher." What grade? Middle. And the reactions, like people have all of this like trauma and like beliefs about middle schoolers. I just think it's so interesting how people respond, and the people who love that age group are kind of my people, because it's all about like forming identity and figuring out what you want to be and how you want to be. So I love that, and definitely resonate with wanting to see how else you can educate outside the confines of traditional classrooms. So Kaila, I don't remember. What did you do before your purpose and aligned purpose came to fruition? What's your background?
Yeah, I was a fundraiser for 12 years. So I've always been interested in money and wanted to learn about money. And I worked in universities raising money for research. So asking for money.
Yeah, I was the mail girl at our foundation at the university. So I know a little bit. Yeah, answering donor calls and sending out. Yeah, that's all meant to be. It's all meant to be. And look at us all aligning our purposes, living our dream lives, being here today. Yeah. And I think what's going to be so amazing to kind of dive into with you all today is how you have taken your backgrounds, your strengths, and come together, because you guys are learning so much about my career here. But my first real job, I started when I was in high school. I was a bank teller. And it was all women tellers. And let me tell you, the drama of working with all women in that small town, whatever, it was just like a lot. And I totally picked up this belief that either I don't want to work in groups, I don't want to work with women. I, kind of launched into like more masculine things and how I operate. I was a solopreneur. And sometimes I think back to that, and am I afraid to work with women? And I think there is some of that drama just in society of what it means to be collaborative and community with other women. So I'd love to kind of get to the beginning of your story of you all working together, because I think the biggest misconception or secret in the business industry, having a business, is that you should do it by yourself, or you have to be the one to figure it all out. And so I want to know how you guys came to be so collaborative and in business together.
Yeah, I mean, I can kick off with what you just said there, that we, this misconception that we should do it by ourselves. And that's the opposite of what we share in our community. We believe it's impossible to do on your own. So come join a community of women entrepreneurs where we can have these conversations so that it doesn't have to feel so lonely. And the way that Kaila and I met is like, feels very divine and so magical. But I had, we originally got connected once for a previous nonprofit that I was trying to start, and it was very challenging. And because Kaila was in the fundraising world, a mutual person brought us together. And I would say it was almost a year later, we hadn't connected. A year later, we met at a coffee shop, and Kaila was asking me about leaving my teaching job because she was getting ready to leave her job, and we had both just finished our coach training. And we left the coffee shop that day, and we both actually got hired to be associate coaches for a coaching company. And
the same company, or are you guys living like parallel lives? Okay.
The same company.
Okay.
And while that was an incredible springboard into our careers and gave us lots of opportunity, and I'm so grateful for that person who brought us together. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately for her, Kaila and I were just like, we need to go our own way. We have so many ideas. And that particular coaching container wasn't the clients that we were really excited about working with. So like we started, it was right before COVID. We picked up the phone every Monday morning, we grabbed our coffee, and we said, okay, let's coach one another on what our own businesses could be. So I was coaching Kaila on how she could grow her previous adventure that she was working on. And Kaila was coaching me on how I could start and grow my own business. And then that was in February, I believe, that those conversations started. And by May, we were like, let's do this. It was just so divine. I had ran a month-long manifestation workshop. And the number one thing that people were wanting to manifest was either money, like actual money, or things that required money. And so I was like, okay, who's the money queen here? It's Kaila. So I was like, people want to learn how to manifest, but they want the money aspect of it. Why don't we go together and create something? And we had no idea how well received that was going to be. And we have just been like,
of course,
keep going.
Yeah, soaring ever since.
Of course.
So organic.
Yes. And I feel like there is a privilege and a place of abundance that you all were coming from, and that you really allowed it. And how many of us, when we get into a position where we have to make it work, or we just like really get obsessed on money, or like figuring it out, that we burn out, it doesn't work, it's no fun, we quit. So this is yet another example, listeners, of letting it breathe, letting it become, listening to others, following your intuition.
Responding. Yeah. One thing that really made a difference, because we both had many ventures and businesses and travel partners and all that kind of thing in the past. So, and we're in our mid-30s. So yes, we've been through the trenches of what the hell is going on. And we both decided together when we started this, that we're going in 50-50, like no matter what effort comes up, we are supporting each other and we are all in together. Mm-hmm. We are not making a plan B. We do not have a backup plan. We are 100% in support of each other and in support of moving forward. And with that energy, we infuse our communities and our courses and our containers. And we support other people to also believe in themselves and their business partners and go all in.
Yeah, that's so you all developed a lot of trust, right, in that beginning place. And I'm listening and I'm thinking like, like, I wonder where that other leader is, that other coach they were working for, I wonder where she's at or how she's doing with this, because I also have worked for other organizations. Then I was doing the like day job, like I was like copywriting or I was coaching, but there's just something so unemployable about me that, doing my own thing and like breaking the rules and all that stuff is just like so much more motivating to me than like someone else's paycheck. And I've learned that over and over many times. So what do you think your trust really depends on? Is it that you have no plan B? Like, how do you recommend actually creating trust in a business partnership where nothing is guaranteed? You don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. Won't even know how you'll feel next month about this idea. Being entrepreneurs, what do you think this trust and this all-in partnership is actually founded on?
Well, I think that's a great question. I know Kaila and I had both done some Brené Brown work, and there's a lot of work in her curriculum about trust. And what I've learned is that to build trust, you have to be a little bit vulnerable. And so I think we started that conversation of, okay, I'm going to share, like, these are my fears and being vulnerable in this. And when Kaila responded, I was like, okay, I can trust her. I can be myself. And I think that just kept going and going. And in human design, we're both respond sacral authorities. So it's a gut instinct for both of us. We know right away if we trust something, if we don't, if we trust someone, if we don't. And and then just my perspective on this is our clear communication. I don't know how many times one of us on the other end of the line has been, like, is this how you feel? And just being open and honest about that, and trusting that, like, calling in that trust that we can be ourselves, and the other one responds to it and confirms, like, no, this is not how I feel. Let's move forward. And that's my take on it. I'd love to hear, Kaila, what yours is.
Yeah, I think we do have vulnerable, open conversations every day, all the time. I mean, we have to share everything. We have to share money. That's our livelihood. We have to be able to talk about everything. And then the other part of it is that we have similar working styles. So we just jive in a way that when, let's say, I want to have a conversation with Hanna, and I think we should be on the podcast. If we booked that for the next day, we could both show up and we didn't, but we could both show up and be present on the podcast and have the conversation with you, because we do things quickly. So, and maybe that's an entrepreneurial thing too. If you find someone who isn't as fast as you are at doing things and is always delaying or kind of like being the bottleneck in a situation that you want to amplify, for me personally, that would drive me insane. So when I'm working directly with Nicole every day and we have an idea, we can execute it right away. Yes, no, sacral authority. That's very helpful that we have the same style.
Absolutely. So much of that self-awareness, that personal development, that inner knowing, how you make decisions, how you work, how you make decisions. I already said that. But you came into this with clarity on who you were, where you wanted to go. And then the people do show up. So I think there's also like a higher, universe, call it whatever. But like you said, it was just like kind of a manifesto that this happened. And there's a lot of trust that I found, like in my personal life, like this makes no sense, but I'm quitting my job today and I'm moving to California tomorrow. And like, yeah, hindsight, crazy. Like, why didn't I think a little more about that? But I also have that like trust. And I think this is permission to business owners who might be feeling like, this is my baby, this is my thing, like I made it, or I have to do it, whether that's ego or, self-reliance, whatever, that people are really what make things happen. And the more good aligned people you have mentoring you, you can delegate to, you're surrounded with, this is how stuff just happens, like during COVID in no time. And here we are, not that much longer, talking about the massive groups you all have created.
Yeah, absolutely. Make it happen.
Yeah, make it happen. So, all right. So here you are, you guys have made this decision. We're all in, there's no plan B. You guys have heard this before on the show. That's like huge, critical in the beginning steps. So what was it like? You kind of had a sense of who you wanted to work with, each of you individually. What was it like bringing that first viable product to market? What was that story?
It felt so easy. It was almost like, is this even happening? And, we might add that when we launched our first course, Kaila was like 8 months pregnant, 7 months pregnant. Like,
very unfortunate.
It was all just like, oh, this is happening so quick. But our very first course was called Manifesting Money Masterclass. And It was, we believe so much in the universal laws, and we know that law of attraction is that law 7. And before to get there, there's 6 other laws. And we believe so much in that. And there wasn't any of this like forcing or gripping or striving. We just sat in we believe in the universal energy. We believe when we are aligned, when we show up and I say, hey, I just really love talking about manifesting. And Kaila says, hey, I really love talking about money and investing and our wealth. And we combine those two and we put the offer out there, the invitation. It was easy and it was enjoyable and it was exciting. And the women that came through to that first program, I mean, some of them have been in every single thing we have launched along the way. Some of them, Kaila and I have done lots of traveling and living in different parts of Canada and overseas. And so we've got networks, pockets of networks everywhere. And it was kind of just like, we shared this thing. We didn't know who it would attract, but trusting that the energy and the magnitude and the amplification of this creation together would attract the right people. And those that it didn't, it's okay. We're not forcing you to come along for the ride.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think something for me that I pulled out about what you just said is that we talked about what we could talk about all day long. We weren't like, okay, we need to learn this new thing and then we're going to teach it and it has to be perfect. And this is the research that has to go in. It's like, you talk about mindset and you teach mindset, and that is your personal passion, your professional passion. I love talking about money. I could talk to people about their situation, about optimizing, about, do you have this system in place? What are you doing with that system? What could be better? What metric are you tracking? I just love talking about that. I don't like small talk, and I like talking to anyone about that. So if we put those two things together for everyone who's listening, what's the thing that you're like, I cannot stop talking? If I could talk all day about anything, it would be this one thing, or write or read or whatever. It's this one thing. That's your thing. That's not a coincidence. That's a gift. So what is it? And then how do you bring that forward?
Yeah, I'm with you so much. And I've talked about this many times on the podcast, but I think it's worth reiterating that we don't need to have all the answers. It doesn't have to be figured out. If your goal is $1 million a year, please do not try to go from 10K to $1 million in like one coffee brainstorm, right? And for me, this newest direction I've taken my business, it didn't come from, a personality quiz or like it came from me talking to people that I already was working with, I already loved, I already knew, and really asking them questions about like, why do you come to me? Like, what are we actually accomplishing for your business? Because I was a business coach, and it came out to be like leadership development and my content. Like, you're practically writing my content every week, Hanna, with all the feedback you're putting in my Google Doc. And it was like, then why don't I just do it for you? And that's where like done for you copywriting came from. It wasn't all of this, preparing, over analyzing. It was like, I've already planted this garden of people I know, like you mentioned, your local networks. And then what do I talk to them about all the time? What do I want to keep telling them about? And starting there. And it sounds like your masterclass, it was truly like a masterclass, right? You didn't wait until you had all your membership and bells and whistles and everything.
We didn't even have a website.
Great. Yeah. Great.
No, great. We just went for it. What?
Yeah. The way that started was in April. So Kaila and I started talking in February. In April, I made one Instagram post. And this is where the whole concept of you never know who's watching, like, was so amplified for me. I made a post that said, hey, people tell me that I guess I'm good at manifesting a mindset. I'm going to do a free training. Send me a DM if you want in on this. And in that first post, 80 people sent a message. And by the time Kaila and I launched that first free chat, I think 140 people were like, hi, ready to learn how to manifest. I was like, oh my goodness. Okay.
You totally manifested manifestors. That's how it works.
So meta. Oh.
Yeah. Well, I love that reminder. You never know who's watching. I just had another conversation with a coach who's actually in our mastermind about how my high school friends must be watching if they care. You know, we all have this spotlight effect. Everyone's watching me. And especially the first 3 years of my business, it was like, Hannah's got a new thing, now a new link, now new, like I was just like changing my language and my offers, a new thing and all this, podcast. How does this all work together? And I think as entrepreneurs, we are looking for that permission slip to start, like I said, like that first viable thing, like just getting into action, working with people. Because as soon as Nicole said, hey, I might be open for business, she got real feedback. She got out of her head. You guys started talking to people. And that's when the offer and the groups and all of this momentum brings you clarity. But you don't have it when you first start, especially, you know, with something new. So you post it to your networks. You're like, hey, might be doing this thing. You got a bunch of like response. Mm-hmm. And I imagine that each time you launch something or you share something, there's some of that. But for me, over time, people get it, right? I've been more clear. They've either been a client or they haven't, and it's kind of that. So what are you guys finding in this new year of business? You know, that was a year and a half ago. So in this new year of business, I know you're launching new things. Do you follow the same principles? Have you evolved from manifesting your clients? What's working now?
Yeah, it's a great question. We are very deep in the practice of gratitude. So we just keep coming back to the clients who have been along this journey with us and truly taking the time, like we have got their names written on our whiteboards, on sticky notes. Kaila and I go through them. And so we sit in gratitude for who we already have and where we're at. And we know that from that place, more is available. And I think now that we have our two main big offerings, so we've got Coffee Club, our membership, and then we've got Platinum Experience, our year-long coaching. The way that people have come to those, well, let's talk about Coffee Club first. The way people have come there has been all word of mouth. It's been incredible. Like women come in and they're like, this community is amazing. Every chance that they get to talk about it, they are. And then their friends and their networks are like, hey, I want to know more about this. And from the conversations we have in Coffee Club, when we start to talk about Platinum, which the doors right now only open once a year, then people have been with us this whole time. It's just so natural to now go from, okay, I get to experience Myland Purpose Community at this depth. And if I want to go a lot deeper, I know Nicole and Kaila now, they've been with us. That know, love, trust factor is really strong. So when we offer Platinum, it's like a all in from the people who have been with us in that first container. So it's felt, I would say, very similar to, we just keep talking about what we love. I still love mindset, manifestation, energy. Like that's the work that I'm in, business coaching, entrepreneurship. And then, yeah, Kaila keeps upping her, like, you actually know, I love talking about this. And then she'll like, share a little bit of money knowledge and people are like, oh, okay, I'm on board with what Kaila has to say. So Kaila, yeah, you jump in and talk about your love of money and where that's taking us.
Yeah, I think I've come out of my shell thanks to the Myland Purpose community and the supportive women that we work with every day. They're so open to learning more and to growing their own personal wealth and to hearing different opinions on what's possible from me and from the people that, the research that I bring forward, that it's helped me be able to talk about investing, to talk about market investing and real estate investing in your business, and to go deeper and deeper and deeper. So I think it's really fun that as we've evolved from talking about mindset at, law of attraction level of manifestation and money at this is how you organize yourself, we've gone to like getting deep into the 12 universal laws, getting into investing, talking about having a direct investing account and doing your own market, in market investing and that kind of thing, and helped us. The trust that we have with our community has helped us open up and share what we really want to share.
And it's so fun. It's so fun. So I love that because you all just embodied the 3 R's that I tell everyone. If you want to scale your business in like a feel good way, you focus on the 3 R's: results, retention, and referrals. And that's what y'all are running on over there, the 3 R's, because
we are.
You don't have to have shiny objects and crazy ads and like all of this fluff and noise that coaches in particular love to just like chase for the sake of chasing. I've discovered, marketing is about finding what works and just doing more of that. And for you all, it's your relationships. It's calling people in.
It's because we already love our people so much. We love, we know their dogs' names and we love their kids and we love how they show up in their own communities. And we love how they show up as women who want more. So why not also talk to the people that they know who also want more?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, totally. That's who we want to talk to. More of Rhonda, Adriana, Kate, Brianna. We want more of you. So that's who we're in it for.
And you get to keep growing with them, right? That's where the retention comes in. Like we're all learning things together. You and I, we're all in a mastermind together that you're learning and expanding. Then that's going to directly impact the people who are a few steps behind you, right?
Oh, yes.
So I just love you guys, like literally embodying this, literally showing that in a short amount of time, focusing on results, getting people like Nicole, you realized, okay, they're cool with manifesting, but everything they want to manifest, they need money for. So how can I get them that result? Let's bring in Kaila. Okay, let's keep getting them great results. Let's keep, fostering the results that our people get, because then they never leave. You have retention. You can keep building new programs for them. And then referrals come pretty naturally when you're getting results and you're loving your community, much like you said, that's how Coffee Club has grown. Like they already know you, they've already heard good things about you. And so for people listening, if you're feeling like you're hitting a plateau or you need a new sales thing or new blah, 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 like go back to what works, do more of that and start focusing on the 3 R's. So you can be more like Kaila and Nicole. And live your dream life and have your aligned purpose.
Yes, please.
Just that simple.
That I just thought about an evolution that we have had from the beginning to now is when we started, it was kind of like whoever is along for the ride, please join us. And now I would say we are really focused on entrepreneurs, women, non-binary, trans women entrepreneurs. So in that sense, when we talk about Coffee Club is pretty open. Like you don't have to be entrepreneurial, although we believe everybody has an entrepreneurial spirit in them. Coffee Club is kind of like for everybody. But when we get into actually coaching people and getting into the platinum experience, that is, if you have an idea, we can absolutely coach you to a way to turn it into a profitable, purposeful, balanced,
systematized
business. Yeah. And that's what we're passionate about. Like, how can we grow your wealth through your business so that you're in alignment with your purpose and your mindset is dialed the whole time?
That is the dream life for so many of us. Yeah. Yeah. So people are loving you. They want to work with you. Everything you just said, Nicole, is like, yes, sign me up. How can they join your coffee club? How can they continue this conversation with you all?
Yeah. Coffee Club is, it's such a fun community. In fact, we just shared with our community this morning that Terry Cole, the author of Boundary Boss, is coming in to chat to our community in 2 weeks. So we're getting like really exciting guest speakers and experiences that are happening. But Coffee Club is an ongoing online membership. And when whomever listens to this is like, okay, I need to be in this, the way that they can sign up is just head to myalignedpurpose.com and Coffee Club is there, or -- Coffee Club. And there's the opportunity to join us for 3 months ongoing, subscription based, or for a year. You can just dive right in and come in at a year and save some money. And what we do inside that community is Kaila and I show up every Monday, and we mean at rain, shine, airports, babies, it does not matter. We show up every single Monday with our coffee mugs and we cheers and we kick off the week with our community in a Facebook Live. And we talk about what we celebrate our community. So we always like, you know, Hanna, you're in there. We'd be like, Hanna, what can we share about what you're up to this week? And we pick different people, or they reach out to us and say, hey, can you share my offer or my course launch or whatever? So we do that. And then we choose a book every month. It's primarily been focused around either mindset, money, or entrepreneurship, or a blend of those things. So this month,
like our theme.
Yeah. So this month it's Boundary Boss with Terry Cole. Yeah. And the teacher in me gets really excited to create curriculum workbooks for everybody. So
lesson plans, the best kind. Yes.
Lesson plans for these like women who are really into personal development. And, you know, we make sure that we're hitting every learner. We've got audio stuff in there. We've got video, we've got written, we've got it all. So no matter how you learn, we welcome you to come join us. And then we do hot seat, like laser coaching. We do celebrations. We have guest speakers come in. We market each other's businesses. Like there's just, it's such a fun community. And I would say the number one feedback that we get that I love is that Coffee Club is a Facebook community, is actually an engaging community. It's not like one of those communities where you go in, like, you know, I'm a part of some other Facebook groups where there's like 60,000 people in it and make a post and you never know what's happening. Our crew of, you know, a small group of like 100+ women are actually interacting, engaging, supporting one another, and they're collaborating. Like women are meeting up and saying, I've never met this person before. We met in Coffee Club and we're starting a business together. And we're like, Kaila and I are like, oh my gosh, this is so incredible.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And this is what I find in, you know, working more with women and getting in more communities with women, is that when women have power, whether that's leadership, wealth, knowledge, they create impact. Not just numbers on the scoreboard, like I think a lot of men talk about, which is their own game, right? But impact in that I'm going to send you all referrals, and then we're going to do a collaboration, and then I'm going to share my knowledge, and then I'm going to hire your sister because I need that help. And then we create real impact and opportunity when we allow ourselves to own those positions of leadership and be connected with other women who want to make stuff happen, right? So yeah, I love that this community is a place for folks like that to get connected and just see what's possible. Amazing. Well, thank you. We'll make sure we have show notes so people can go continue this conversation, and click the link below to learn more about Coffee Club and what it takes to spend more time with these two boss babes.
Okay, right? Thank you for having us, Hanna.
Cheers. Of course, the friends, I'll be back next week with more inspiring guests who will help you make your dream life and business your real life.